I think it's fair to say we've been on a bit of a up and down form in the first season back in League Two with Bordeaux. Since that last episode, USL Dunkirk and a 0-0 draw. Not the best result, but not the worst either. Another draw at home against SC Bastia. Ben Knight and Ottomogan getting on the score sheet, but obviously not enough. That team that were top of league and unbeaten beat us 4-0. Just awful day at the... Just awful day. Can't say much more about that. Into the French Cup against the semi-professional team. Tide, Rudier, Ep.14 and Barty getting a goal in that one to take us into the 8th round. League game between that one, Ismail Diallo, our backup right back, and Ben Knight, 2 goals from the right side, getting us the 3 points against the Green Camp. Semi-professional side, FC Rouen beat us on penalties after the worst performance I've ever seen. Barty was probably our only real good player. But Riku, our defensive midfielder, missed a penalty, and then we went out 5-4 on penalties. So that ends any hope of that. After that, a pretty disappointing result as well. Rudier came off injured at half-time, Abate off the bench, getting us the 1-1 draw against Grenoble. And then FC Metz. Away from home, probably our best result in the last, month or two. Probably definitely. Joe Taylor, Ottomogan, and ESA isn't getting a goal. Joe Taylor, who was our striker, who we signed for big money in the summer for our level, and it started out quite well and just didn't end. It was on a goal scoring barren run until that game, so hopefully that means he can get back into scoring for run, so we have something more greens than a load of reds and oranges. Anyway, on the league table, we are still in a 4th. A little bit of a gap between the top 2, and pretty close between us and 6th. Literally 4 points between us and 7 points between us and 9th. So I think playoffs seems to be a reality in the first half of the season anyway, but anyway, let's get into that. 2 games today. Well, I would show you what we're going to play. Fixture schedule, we're going to play Amiens and Montpellier. But Rodez, that team that did beat us 4-0, did lose 2 games. Metz and Montpellier. Montpellier, who are 2nd. Metz over there. But anyway, in this game against Amiens, Ramos starts in goal, Katongo, Rancotin, Pastor, Yesen, Briku, Manai, Knight, Ottomogan, Rudier, and Taylor. Media seems to think we are the favourites this one. In a gold. Is it gold? It's a gold, it kind of looks like a dirty bronze. It's a very unique kit. You know, I'm putting it as a 3-4-3. We're all doing pretty well in this game according to the stats, but nothing highlight worthy yet. Cross from Ben Knight. Finds Jules Rudier. It's only his 3rd goal of the season. I've been trying to train him on finishing, but it isn't quite working. I mean, he seems to be more of a facilitator than a goal scorer, but I think with 9 finishing and 9 passing, you kind of got to off that a little bit. I mean, it's not too bad for this division, but if we want to start going into the next divisions and maybe even fighting for Europe in a couple seasons, I don't think 9 finishing and 9 passing is really going to cut it. And I kind of like Jules Rudier. It's like one of my favourite players on the team. Even if he is a little bit inconsistent. I mean, I think he's 17, so I'm not surprised. Otto Morgan on the ball. Up to Manai. It's been a little bit quiet. Up to Ben Knight. Ben Knight on his left foot. Did get the assist for the first one. So Manai gets the assist for this one. Ben Knight into the back of the net. 2 goals in double quick time. And 2-0. Rudier over to the right to Ben Knight. That seems to be our wingers. Definitely on form today. Especially Ben Knight. He does go down. Doesn't get a penalty or anything like that. Pranero. I think he's the striker down the left. Pranera, attacking Congo, takes it on his man. Good block by Lanquity, I think. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Goes out for a corner anyway. Benai into the box to Rudier. Rudier brought it down. Didn't even think he could get the finish off, but good strength from the young winger, and we get 3-0 just after half time. 64 on the clock, and Carter in behind. Maybe that guy wasn't a striker after all. Turns the defender, another shot, blocked again. Ottermarken can go on counter attack. 64 on the clock. Haven't done too much this half. Rudier, down left, already got 2 goals. Can he get his hat trick? Rudier up to Tile. On 4. Taylor just hit that form at the start of the season and just hasn't been the same since. Scored the goal, I think it was last game, but still lacking a tiny bit. Couple of youngsters on for the last couple minutes. Charles to Boucher, 2 of them. Up to Tile. He was another youngster that brought on. As just mentioned, Barté shot decently saved by the keeper. Doesn't play too many games from the start, but when he does come off the bench, does get a fair hand of goals. Charles, 4 minutes left to Rudier. Looks like unlikely to get a hat trick unless it's going to come soon. Yesen down the left. Yesen not really got a lot of options and instead of going into the box. Briku, Yesen. Briku, edge of the box to Rudier. Rudier for his hat trick. Off the keeper. There is the corner. There is full time in this one. Rudier couldn't quite get his hat trick, but a 3-0 win and a clean sheet at home. Don't think you can moan about that one. Still some financial issues at Bordeaux. Still predicted to lose about 30 million at the end of this season and 20 million at the end of next season. 1.8 in the black, and they have unfortunately reduced our transfer budget about 20,000, which 16,000 more than we spent, and then we can't even budget anymore. Scouting is already is maxed for as low as it can. Wage is unfortunately not that great either, and looks like Steve Schamal wants to play some more games. Here we go then, the second game against in the episode after that 3-0 win in the last game. I think I'm going to drop Tile. Going to drop Taylor from this one for Tile. We are playing at Montpellier in this game, just fighting for us in the top 4 for the playoffs. I think the top of the table is probably pretty settled now, but hopefully we can still be in them playoffs come the end of the season. Here a pretty even game. We are away from home in this one against Montpellier. They are playing a 3-4-3, but I think we played a 3-4-3 last time. They have a shot from a wild way out. Rudier knocked him down, but hit the crossbar, and just ever since someone mentioned that the players just all stand still wherever you hit his crossbar. Let me start that again. Whenever the ball hits the crossbar, players just stand still, and now you just can't unwatch it. Crossing for the corner, Ramos, nice clean from that one. Just wow, Ramos. Nice to see a lot of them crosses that sometimes he would just drop or not claim. Seems to be a lot, well, growing into his position a lot this season. Otto Morgan to Tile, up to Ben Knight. Ben Knight, who was such good form as the last game, is put in behind and gets us a 1-0 up against our playoff rivals. 1-0. Briku to Rudier. Almost got a hat-trick last game. Let's see if we can do anything in this game. Here he is on the ball now. Rudier, back to Briku. Maybe not what I had in mind. Just go back to Rudier. Rudier, pass 1. Ottermargen. Rudier. Shot out for a corner. Not sure his left foot's quite as good as his right. And Ottermargen. 52 minutes on the clock. And behind for Ben Knight. Ben Knight already scored once this game. Pass, Briku just didn't come onto it and took way too long. El-Zuzi on the counter does have backup. Just get us past him like he's not even there. Katongo. Right. Gives away a penalty. Great. Right. Come on, Gomez. I think I've seen you say 1 penalty, Brunner. Sends the keeper the wrong way. Price Brunner. In a big game, give away a penalty. And he's doing another Tears Cunha dance. Awesome. Delay. I've got to Morgan, to Manai. Not really what we need. Seems to be just a little bit lacking. Pastor, 2-third challenge. Got the ball, but straight back to them. Brunner shot on the volley, only over the bar. No counter. El Zuzi, 60 minutes on the clock. Looks like they've been a slightly better team in the second half. I don't like Katogo was going to jump out for that, but she's not to. Who's in behind? Lapeta. El Zuzi, a shot off the crossbar again. The players, like I said before, they just stand still. Just punish you a little bit, and Ramos, luckily for us, held on to it. Does find Jensen on the... I don't know what keep calling Jensen. Another pass that didn't quite make it. A lot of passes have just not been that good. There we go, a little shout. So encourage. I know it's a playoff game, and maybe demanding more was probably a better idea, but just I think it's just a little bit of quality because we've got a lot of youth players. It's not even the youth players that are doing it. It's our experience. Maybe it's just a lack of quality that just can't quite do it, and Yethan gives away a free kick. Alright, for someone over the corner, despite what the highlights say, we have been pretty good in this game. Manai cross to Lanquitine. Rudier on his left foot, I think. I think we all knew what was happening as soon as it hit his left foot, but not too bad. Alright, last couple of minutes. Despite the highlights showing us we've been the better team, but not the better team, the stats said we have been the better team, but I mean, that could all change now. It's easy. Down the right. Doesn't have a lot of options. Goes past his man. He's got 3 around him though. Shot. Pretty tame straight at Ramos. 6.5 seems a little bit harsh. Jensen. Nearly called him Jensen again. Right. Last couple seconds. Looks like this one's going to be a draw. They've had one shot on target and it was a penalty. It's just silly decision making, and we could have been even further in the promotion spot. Briku with a good interception for that one. Rudier. Can we do something later on? Thiele's in behind. Thiele shot. Good save by their keeper. Looks like he's gone out for a corner. I mean, the point against Montpellier isn't the worst result if you put everything in perspective, and that's what we'll get from this one. But if you look how close, even top of the league is, it's not exactly out the question, but I think we just have that little bit of quality and experience, or I don't even know, but maybe this season isn't quite our season to go top of the league or automatic, but maybe a promotion fight. We'll see. But anyway, that is the end of today's episode. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.